Okay, I'll show you a quick video on how to take the top off of an XM. So of course we know how to take the doors off, but we don't want to get any access to anything else that's underneath the headlight and the whole console here. We'll show you how to get there. So first thing to do is take off the windshield. It's held down with post center rubber grommets. So we pull that guy off. Open up the little glove box here. In the top of your gauge bezel, there's two rectangular cutouts. What we're going to do is take a small flat blade screwdriver and you just need to press in on the locking tabs. So when we push straight in, it releases it. Lift it away from the dash. Over to the other side, same thing, push straight in and the whole dash is going to tip out. We can then slide the bottom up and it unlocks, and then we just have to disconnect the connector on the back. So there's a tab to depress there. Disconnect the gauge cluster. Next thing that we have in here is basically there's one big connector that powers the headlights. We'll have to disconnect that. So the rest of this wiring is going to stay here. We're going to take this whole headlight assembly and everything else off from there. 4 bolts holding the top on. We have 2 up top, one here, and 2 a little down, further down on the sides here. So I've taken that side off already. We'll take these 2 screws, and they're a T25 Torx. And down on the bottom. Okay, so those are all of the fasteners that are actually holding that on now. So now this whole top is actually loose. A couple things left to disconnect. One is the airbox tube. I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, I'll show you how to get this airbox out, which disconnects the main airbox tube here so that we can take the rest off. So a little lock tab right down on the bottom here. Have to lift that up, and then there's a bigger tab beside it. You rotate the whole tube and then slide it forwards off of the air chamber. If you don't want to take this out, that's all you have to do right now, but there is a connector behind it which is hard to get to without taking the rest of this out. So down here, little tab to push. I'm going to push that on, it's going to release, and we'll slide this whole airbox out. Once you've released it, you're just going to kind of pull it across or away from the belt guard locator, and this section slides in half. And then up on that tube we just disconnected, there is a little 2-pin connector to disconnect before you can remove the upper console here. Okay, so that connector looks like this. I'm going to pry the 2 tabs slightly, disconnect it from the connector. We'll move over to the other side, and we just have to disconnect the hose off of the ECM. Last thing to do, this is the airbox pressure sensor. It's built into the ECM, so they run a small hose. You just simply pull it off of the ECM here. You want to be gentle with it. It is a small plastic fitting, and that's why we want to make sure we disconnect it before you rip the top off, because you can break that fitting if you just reef on it from too hard. Okay, now we've got everything disconnected. Airbox is disconnected. Small hose on the ECM is disconnected. So now we can actually just slide this whole top off. And we're simply going to slide it forwards and then lift it up and off of the sled. So everything that comes off is your whole main airbox chamber. Okay, that's the little hose we disconnected. This is the main airbox tube and the other portion of the connector that we disconnected. That's our map sensor. Yeah. Set that off to the side, and what that does, gives us access to everything, just like if you had the hood off of an old school sled or anything like that. Lets you basically get at everything, fill up coolant, do all your pre-season checks and that kind of thing.